To stop losing money in the financial markets, you have to completely stop caring whether your next trade wins or loses. I know that sounds like terrible advice. It sounds like something a scammer tells you right before they take your house. But this complete emotional numbness is the exact mathematical secret that built the city of Las Vegas out of empty desert sand. But knowing the math is completely useless if you do not understand human biology. You have to understand why the person dealing the cards at a blackjack table is never the one actually in charge of the game. There is always a guy in an overpriced suit standing 3 feet behind them, just watching. That guy is the pit boss. If you do not build a pit boss inside your own brain, the market will simply take all of your money. It will not even be a fair fight. Every retail trader alive knows the exact cycle of absolute misery I am about to describe. It is Sunday night. The markets are closed, the numbers are frozen. You sit at your desk, sipping a warm drink, and you look at your charts. You draw your little lines. You highlight your zones. You build a trading plan so logical, so brilliant, and so mathematically sound that you feel like a financial god. You go to sleep believing that tomorrow is the day you finally crack the code. Then Monday morning arrives. The opening bell rings. The chart starts blinking red and green. Within 14 minutes, you have taken a trade that was nowhere on your plan. It goes immediately into the red. Your chest gets tight. You take a loss. 5 minutes later, you take another trade just to win back the money you lost on the first one. That one loses too. Now you are angry. You double your position size. You buy a random stock just because it looks like it is going up. 2 hours later, your account is bleeding out. Your perfectly drawn Sunday night charts are ruined, and you are staring at the wall wondering what is wrong with your brain. You were a genius on Sunday. You were a monkey on Monday. When I worked as a data analyst for a prop firm, I had unrestricted access to their back-end servers. I watched the raw data of thousands of funded traders in real time. I found the exact mathematical difference between the 1% who take home massive payouts and the 99% who burn their accounts to the ground. I took all of that classified data and put it into a new book. There are no opinions in this book. It is just the cold math. It gives you the exact server data of the top 4,000 traders. You will see their exact win rates, their risk limits, and their trade duration. It also gives you the mechanical rules to physically force patience into your biology, and the mindset shifts required to survive a terrible week without losing your mind. If you want to stop guessing and start trading based on actual server data, the link to the book is in the description. Mechanize your mind. Do not blame yourself for this. You are not stupid. You are a rational human being, walking into a system that was scientifically designed by billionaires to break your psychology. You are acting exactly how the system wants you to act. The problem is your obsession with the very next spin. Retail traders evaluate their entire self-worth based on the outcome of a single trade. If you buy a stock and it goes up, you feel like a genius. If you buy a stock and it goes down, you feel like a failure. You are treating the financial market like a single pull of a slot machine. You put your coin in, you pull the lever, and you pray. This is not how casinos operate. When a roulette ball drops into a slot, the wheel does not remember it. The previous spins have zero impact on the next spin. If the ball lands on red 5 times in a row, the odds of it landing on black the next time are exactly the same as they were an hour ago. The wheel has no memory. The wheel does not care. In trading, your last 3 losses have absolutely zero impact on the probability of your next setup working. The market does not remember that you lost money this morning. The market does not care that you need to pay your car insurance tomorrow. Yet, when you take 3 losses in a row, you completely change your strategy. You abandon the rules. This is mathematically identical to flipping a normal coin 3 times, getting 3 tails, and confidently shouting that the coin is rigged. You are making permanent, aggressive decisions based on mathematically insignificant data. It is a very confident mistake. Casinos do not make this mistake. They never change the rules. Think about what happens when a tourist wearing a terrible Hawaiian shirt walks into a casino, puts $10 into a slot machine, and wins $500,000. The casino just lost $500,000 in 5 seconds. If a retail trader lost $500,000, they would throw their computer out the window. They would cry. They would try to sue the market. What does the casino manager do? The manager walks over to the tourist, smiles, shakes their hand, and brings them a free bottle of expensive champagne. They celebrate with the person who just took their money. They do not panic. They do not unplug the slot machines. They do not rewrite the rules of the casino on a napkin in the bathroom. Why are they so calm? Because the casino manager understands the law of large numbers. They know that paying out that jackpot is just a temporary event. They know that over the next 10,000 spins, the mathematical edge built into the game guarantees that the casino will win all of that money back, and millions more. They trust the math of the macro. You are obsessing over the panic of the micro. This brings us to the variance trap. Variance is a statistical guarantee that you will experience streaks of terrible luck, even if you are doing everything perfectly. Let us say you actually have a brilliant trading strategy. It wins 60% of the time. That is an incredibly profitable system. But basic math dictates that even with a 60% win rate, you will eventually experience a streak where you lose 6, 7, or even 8 times in a row. It is a mathematical certainty. It cannot be avoided. When a casino loses 5 hands of blackjack in a row to a drunk tourist, they do not suddenly change the rules of blackjack to win it back. They deal the next hand exactly the same way. But when you take 3 losses in a row, you panic, increase your risk, and start revenge trading. You break your own rules just because normal, everyday variance showed up to say hello. You have to realize something deeply uncomfortable about the financial markets, and about casinos. Casinos actually need you to win in the short term. If players walked into a casino and lost every single time they played, they would stop coming. The casino would go out of business in a month. The casino needs the tourist to win occasionally. They need the bells to ring. They need the coins to fall out of the machine. They view these short-term player wins as a simple marketing expense. It keeps the players sitting in the chairs long enough for the casino's long-term mathematical edge to slowly drain their wallets. As a trader, you must view your short-term losses in the exact same way. Your losses are just a marketing expense. When your stop-loss gets hit, you are just paying the cost of doing business. You are paying the fee required to stay at the table long enough for your long-term edge to play out over the next 1,000 trades. If you cannot pay the marketing fee, you cannot own the casino. The scale said success. The body was keeping its own accounting. So, if you know the math says you will experience losses, why do you still panic? Why do you still break your rules when the red numbers appear on your screen? Because the issue is not mathematical. It is biological. You are being hijacked by your own brain. When you are sitting in a live trade, watching real money go up and down by the second, your heart rate increases. You have the heart rate of a hummingbird on espresso. This triggers a response in your amygdala. That is the fear and greed center of your brain. When the amygdala lights up, your biology actually restricts blood flow to your prefrontal cortex. The prefrontal cortex is the logical, rational part of your brain. It is the part that drew those beautiful charts on Sunday night. In a live trade, the logical part of your brain is quite literally starving for oxygen. You are physiologically, biologically, incapable of making a smart, rational new plan while watching a live trade move against you. Your biology turns you into an animal trying to survive an attack. This is why you suddenly get a gut feeling that you should close a trade early. Every trader knows this feeling. You are in a good trade. It has not hit your target yet. But suddenly, your stomach drops. You feel a deep, urgent intuition that the market is about to reverse and take your money. So you click sell. You take a tiny profit. Then, 5 minutes later, the market shoots up exactly to your original target. You left thousands of dollars on the table because you trusted your gut. Let me be brutally honest with you. That gut feeling was not market intuition. It was not a magical connection to the financial universe. It was masked anxiety. Your nervous system was experiencing the intense, physical discomfort of financial uncertainty. Closing the trade was just the fastest way your brain could find to relieve that physical pain. You did not secure a profit, you just paid a fee to stop feeling anxious. This is also why having a high intelligence quotient is actually a severe disadvantage in trading. Usually, being smart helps you in life. In the markets, being too smart will destroy you. The smartest, most analytical people make the absolute worst live traders. Why? Because their high intelligence gives them a superpower. They are incredibly good at inventing brilliant-sounding, perfectly logical excuses to break their own rules in real time. A stupid person might just admit they are scared. A smart person will look at a live chart, notice a tiny change in volume, reference a news article they read 3 days ago, and convince themselves that they have discovered a genius reason to move their stop-loss and risk more money. They use their high intellect to lie to themselves. The smarter you are, the better the lie sounds. The root cause of all your failure is a concept we can call the casino hierarchy overload. In a real casino, The business operations are strictly divided. The house owners design the mathematical edge. The pit boss stands on the floor and manages the risk, enforcing the rules. The dealer simply touches the cards and does what they are told. As a retail trader, you are trying to be all three people at the exact same time. You are trying to be the house, making the complex strategy. You are trying to be the pit boss, managing the risk and keeping discipline. And you are trying to be the dealer, rapidly clicking the mouse and executing the orders. You are trying to do all of this simultaneously, alone in your bedroom, while your own money is burning and your logic brain is starving for blood. This neurological overload guarantees your failure. The human brain cannot handle it. To fix this, you have to completely separate your math from your biology. You must surrender the illusion of control. You have to build the complete casino system inside your daily routine. Here is the exact protocol to do it. Step 1 is the pit boss protocol. You must completely split your personality in half. You are no longer one trader. You are two completely different employees working different shifts. Employee number 1 is the analyst. The analyst is your internal pit boss. The analyst is only allowed to work when the market is closed. They work in the evenings or on the weekends. The analyst looks at static, boring charts where the numbers are not moving. They do not feel fear because there is no live money on the line. The analyst defines the mathematical edge. They set the exact entry levels. They write the rigid script for tomorrow. Once the script is written, the analyst goes to sleep. Their shift is over. Employee number 2 is the executioner. The executioner is your internal dealer. The executioner only works when the market is open. Here is the secret to the executioner. Their IQ is 0. They are completely stupid. They have no opinions. They do not watch the news. They do not care about the economy. The executioner has one job and one job only. They read the analyst's script, and they click the buttons like a dumb piece of metal. If the executioner is in a live trade and suddenly gets a brilliant new idea to change the target, they must ignore it. The executioner is not authorized to think. If they think, they are fired. This separation of powers protects you from yourself. Step 2 is the logical checklist. You must build an operational checklist so rigid and so simple that a 12-year-old child could sit at your desk and execute your trading plan flawlessly. It must be built entirely on if and then statements. If the price touches this exact number, and if the volume is above this exact average, then I press the buy button. There are no exceptions. There is no room for interpretation. There is no room for a gut feeling. If the checklist conditions are not met, you do nothing. You sit on your hands and you watch the screen. Boredom is highly profitable. Excitement is very expensive. Step 3 is the block of 20 rule. You are currently judging your strategy after every single trade. This is mathematical suicide. From today forward, you are never allowed to evaluate your trading strategy after one trade. You cannot evaluate it after 2 trades or 5 trades. You must force yourself to trade in blocks of 20. You take your exact rules and you execute them 20 times in a row, exactly the same way. Until trade number 20 is fully closed, you are not allowed to feel good. You are not allowed to feel bad. You are not allowed to change your position sizing. You are certainly not allowed to tweak your strategy. You are just collecting data. You are flipping the coin 20 times to see what the actual math is. When trade 20 finishes, you can sit down, review the numbers, and let the analyst make adjustments. During the block of 20, you are a robot collecting data in a factory. Step 4 is the final psychological shift. We call this the champagne protocol. You have to completely redefine what the word winning actually means. Right now, your definition of a winning trade is very simple. A winning trade is a trade that made money. A losing trade is a trade that lost money. This definition is destroying your mind. You can make money on a terrible trade. You can ignore your rules, risk half your account, buy a garbage stock, get lucky, and make $5,000. Under your old definition, that is a winning trade. But in reality, it is a disaster. You just reinforced a terrible habit that will eventually blow up your entire account. The market gave you a reward for being stupid. You can also lose money on a perfect trade. You can follow your rules flawlessly, enter at the exact right moment, manage your risk perfectly, and the market might just decide to drop and hit your stop loss. Under your old definition, that is a losing trade. You must adopt the casino manager's apathy. A winning trade is no longer a trade that makes money. A winning trade is any trade where the executioner flawlessly followed the analyst's rules. That is it. If you followed your rules perfectly, and the trade hit your stop loss and cost you $100, that is a winning trade. You pop the champagne. You celebrate. You did your job perfectly. The loss is just the marketing expense for the day. You survived the variance. If you broke your rules, revenge traded, and somehow made $1,000, that is a losing trade. You should feel disgusted with yourself. You survived playing in traffic, but you are still going to get hit by a car eventually. You do not need another magic indicator. You need forced discipline. You need a digital pit boss. That is exactly what the Alpha Equity Manager is. It is a piece of software that treats you like the biological liability that you are. Its best feature is the hard equity shield. Let us say you promise yourself you will only lose 2% today. The second your floating loss hits exactly -2%, the software takes over. It aggressively closes every open position you have, and it completely disables your buy and sell buttons for the rest of the day. You are physically locked out of the casino. And if your monkey brain tries to go into the settings to increase your risk to 3% just to revenge trade, you cannot. The time-locked vault instantly rejects your emotional inputs. You cannot cheat the system. You cannot negotiate with it. It even calculates your exact dollar risk before you enter a trade, so there are no surprises. The link to download the Alpha Equity Manager is in the description. Stop trusting your biology and let the machine protect your money. You have to stop trying to predict the next spin. You cannot control the wheel. You cannot control the ball. You can only control the guy in the suit standing behind the table, making sure the rules are followed. Stop trying to be the lucky tourist. Start acting like the cold, boring, highly profitable building they are sitting in. Because in the end, the guy shouting at the slot machine always takes a taxi home. The house always stays right where it is.